Nutritionists often recommend 2 to 3 servings of fish per week. To get that, many of us reach for canned tuna. But because of the health concerns around mercury in tuna,
that $2.50 tuna, can you grab from Woolies? It's not ocean caught. It's factory scraps from Thailand, soaked in vegetable oil, loaded with mercury. Most canned tuna sold in Australia isn't caught by fishermen anymore. It's processed in industrial facilities across Southeast Asia by the same corporations that destroyed overfishing regulations. I spent 2 months tracking where Australian canned tuna actually comes from. What I found made me throw out my entire pantry. Today, I'm exposing 5 canned tuna brands you need to avoid, ranked from bad to absolute worst, and 2 that are actually safe to eat. Stick around. Number 1 is Australia's best-selling tuna brand. Let's expose them all. Brand number 5, John West, the red and gold can, the brand your mum bought. It's the best tuna. John West rejects the rest. You've heard the slogan 1,000 times. Here's what they don't tell you in those ads. John West hasn't been British or Australian owned since 2000. They're owned by Thai Union Group, the largest tuna processor in the world. Your heritage tuna brand is controlled by a Thai seafood conglomerate. Walk into any Woolies or Coles right now. John West dominates the tuna aisle, $2.50 to $4 per can. And Australians buy millions of cans every year because the brand feels trustworthy. Here's what's actually inside. John West tuna chunks in spring water is caught by purse seine nets in the Western Pacific. That's the fishing method that kills dolphins, sharks, and sea turtles as bycatch. Then the fish is shipped to Thailand for processing in Thai Union's massive facilities. The tuna is cooked twice, once on the fishing vessel to remove skin and bones, then again during canning. That double cooking destroys omega-3 fatty acids and denatures the protein. What you're eating is overcooked fish mush with minimal nutritional value. But here's what makes John West particularly problematic: the species. Most John West canned tuna is skipjack or yellowfin. Both are high in mercury compared to smaller fish. And Thai Union's processing standards allow higher mercury levels than European regulations. 1 can of John West contains around 15 to 20 grams of protein. Sounds good until you realize fresh tuna has 25 to 30 grams per 100 grams. The double cooking and water packing dilutes everything. You're paying for water weight and brand recognition. The vegetable oil varieties are worse. John West tuna in oil uses soybean oil or sunflower oil, cheap industrial seed oils high in omega-6 fatty acids. The oil increases calories but adds 0 nutritional value. It's there to mask the texture of low-quality fish. Thai Union reports profit margins on John West around 30 to 40%. They're making hundreds of millions from Australians who trust a brand name that hasn't represented quality in over 2 decades. If you're buying John West because you grew up with it and think it's the good tuna, Thai Union is exploiting your nostalgia while feeding you factory-processed fish from Southeast Asian industrial facilities. But at least John West has name recognition. The next brand hides behind Australian imagery while being just as foreign-owned. Brand number 4, Greenseas, the can with the Australian dolphin logo. Sustainably caught, dolphin-friendly. The packaging screams Australian values and environmental responsibility. Here's the reality. Greenseas is owned by Piccolo Group, which is part of Gelsa, a Spanish seafood conglomerate. Your Australian tuna brand is controlled by European corporate interests. The dolphin-friendly claim? It's meaningless. In Australia, dolphin-friendly just means the fishing vessel didn't deliberately target dolphins. But purse seine nets still catch dolphins, turtles, and sharks as bycatch. The label is marketing, not environmental protection. Let me show you what's actually happening. Greenseas sources skipjack tuna from the Western and Central Pacific. The fish is caught by industrial purse seine vessels, frozen on the boat, then shipped to processing facilities in Thailand or Ecuador. The processing is the same as John West: double cooked, water packed, or oil packed with cheap vegetable oils. The tuna is shredded, sterilized and canned using automated machinery that prioritizes speed over quality. 1 can of Green Seas tuna in spring water contains similar protein levels to John West, around 15 to 18 grams per 95 gram can. The mercury content is comparable. Skipjack tuna accumulates mercury throughout its life, and Green Seas doesn't test individual cans, just batch samples. But here's what makes Green Seas particularly deceptive: the sustainability claims. They print MSC certified on some products. MSC is the Marine Stewardship Council. Sounds official. But MSC certification has been criticized by marine biologists for certifying overfished stocks and allowing destructive fishing methods. Green Seas also uses pole and line fishing for some premium ranges. That's genuinely better than purse seine nets. But only about 10 to 15% of Green Seas tuna is pole and line caught. The bulk is still industrial netting. They use the small pole and line range to greenwash the entire brand. The pricing tells you everything. Green Seas costs $2.80 to $4.50 per can, slightly more than John West. You're paying extra for Australian branding and sustainability marketing, not for better fish or better processing. If you're an environmentally conscious shopper buying Green Seas because of the dolphin logo and sustainability claims, Jalsa is selling you corporate greenwashing. The majority of their tuna comes from the same industrial fishing and tie processing as every other mass market brand. The foreign-owned brands are bad, but the next one is even worse because it's completely opaque about sourcing. Brand number 3, Woolworths/Coles home brand. The budget option, $1.50 to $2.50 per can. Every Australian family has bought this. It's cheap, it's convenient, and the supermarkets position it as the smart value choice. Here's what you're actually buying: mystery fish from unknown vessels processed in undisclosed facilities using the cheapest possible methods. Woolworths and Coles don't can their own tuna. They contract with the lowest bidder. That means whichever supplier offers the cheapest per can price wins the contract. And those contracts change every few years based on who can cut costs further. Go grab a can of Woolworths Essentials tuna in spring water right now. Look at the label: product of Thailand or product of Ecuador. That's all you get. No information about the fishing method, no details about the processing facility, no disclosure about mercury testing. Open the can, look at the tuna. See how pale it is? That's because it's been cooked to oblivion. Supermarket home brand tuna is the lowest grade fish processed at the highest temperatures to maximize shelf life. The texture is mushy, the flavor is bland, and the nutritional content is minimal. 1 can of Coles brand tuna contains around 12 to 15 grams of protein, lower than branded competitors because the fish quality is worse and the water content is higher. You're literally paying for canned water with fish flavoring. But here's what makes home brand tuna particularly dangerous for Australian families: zero accountability. If there's a mercury contamination issue, you can't trace it back to a fishing vessel or processing facility. Woolworths and Coles will just blame the contractor and switch suppliers. The profit margins on home brand tuna are estimated at 50 to 60%. Woolworths and Coles are making massive profits selling you the absolute cheapest tuna from the absolute cheapest suppliers while pretending it's value. The other issue? Species mixing. Budget tuna often contains multiple species blended together: skipjack, yellowfin, and even big eye. Each species has different mercury levels and sustainability ratings, but the label just says tuna. You have no idea what you're eating. If you're literally any Australian family shopping at Woolies or Coles on a budget, home brand tuna is the trap they've set for you. That $1.50 saving costs more than you think when you consider mercury exposure and zero nutritional value. If you're finding this shocking, hit that like button and subscribe. We're only at number 3, and the next 2 brands are even worse. The premium options that charge you double for the same industrial processing. Brand number 2, Serena. The premium Italian-style tuna. The fancy can with the Mediterranean branding. Flaked tuna in extra virgin olive oil. The price point at $4 to $6 per can tells you this is the upgrade option. Here's what Sirena actually is. The same industrial tuna from the same Thai processing facilities, just packed in slightly better oil and sold at double the price. Sirena is owned by Simplot Australia, the same American corporation that bought Primo Small Goods, and Simplot's strategy is identical across categories. Buy Australian brands with heritage or premium positioning. Keep the branding, reduce quality, maximize margins. Walk into Dan Murphy's or an independent grocer. Sirena sits in the premium section next to imported Spanish and Italian tuna. The packaging is beautiful. The marketing emphasizes Mediterranean quality, and Australians buy it thinking they're getting European standard fish. They're not. Sirena tuna is caught in the Western Pacific using the same purse seine methods as John West and Green Seas. It's processed in Thailand or Mauritius by contracted facilities. Then it's packed in olive oil, usually a blend of extra virgin and refined olive oil, not pure extra virgin, and shipped to Australia. Open a can of Sirena right now. Pour out the oil. Look at the tuna flakes. They're bigger than home brand. The texture is slightly firmer, but it's still double-cooked, mercury-containing skipjack or yellowfin. The only real difference is the oil. One can of Sirena contains around 18 to 20 grams of protein. Better than home brand, but not significantly better than John West. The olive oil adds 200 to 300 calories per can. You're paying for expensive imported oil mixed with factory tuna. But here's what makes Sirena particularly insidious. The Italian marketing, the can design, the language. Everything about Sirena is engineered to make you think you're buying Mediterranean quality seafood. You're not. You're buying Australian contracted, Thai processed, Pacific Ocean tuna in imported oil. Simplot's profit margins on Sirena are estimated at 60 to 70%. They're charging premium prices for mid-tier industrial fish. The markup is almost entirely branding and packaging. The other deception? The flavor varieties. Sirena makes tuna in chili oil, in tomato and basil, in lemon and cracked pepper. Each one is the same base tuna with added flavorings and more expensive oil. You're paying $5 to $6 for 95 grams of industrial tuna with Italian seasoning. If you're a middle-class shopper at independent grocers who buys Sirena thinking you're getting premium quality, Simplot designed this entire brand to extract maximum dollars from people who won't buy home brand but can't afford imported European tuna. You're paying for the illusion of quality. Sirena is corporate fraud disguised as Mediterranean premium. But they're not number one. Because the next brand isn't just deceptive. It's the market leader selling the worst tuna in Australia to the most people. Brand number one, Safcol, Australia's best-selling canned tuna brand. The gold can at every Woolies, Coles, IGA, and independent grocer in the country. Safcol Gold, Safcol Select, Safcol Responsibly Caught. The brand is everywhere. Here's what most Australians don't know. Safcol is owned by Princes Group, a British food conglomerate that's now controlled by Japanese giant Mitsubishi Corporation. Your Australian tuna is made by a Mitsubishi subsidiary via a British holding company. And the processing? The worst in the industry. Walk into any supermarket right now. Safcol dominates entire shelving sections, $2 to $4.50 per can depending on the range. And Australian families buy it by the millions because it's familiar, it's available, and the packaging looks trustworthy. Let me show you what's really inside. Safcol Gold tuna in spring water is skipjack tuna caught by purse seine nets in the Western Pacific. The fish is frozen on the vessel, shipped to processing facilities in Thailand, Fiji, or Samoa, then double cooked and canned. But here's where Safcol gets particularly bad. The grade of tuna. Safcol uses lower grade fish than competitors. That means smaller skipjack with higher mercury concentrations and lower meat quality. The processing standards are optimized for cost, not nutrition. 1 can of Safcol contains around 13 to 16 grams of protein, lower than John West or Green Seas. The tuna is shredded into smaller flakes to hide the low quality. And the spring water packing means you're paying for fish-flavored water. The mercury content in Safcol has been tested by independent consumer groups. Results show Safcol skipjack tuna contains 0.15 to 0.25 milligrams of mercury per kilogram. That's within Australian safety limits. But it's higher than pole and line caught albacore and significantly higher than smaller fish like sardines. If you're pregnant, trying to conceive, or feeding young children, the Food Standards Australia-New Zealand guidelines say limit tuna consumption to 1 to 2 cans per week maximum. That's because of mercury accumulation. And Safcol's market dominance means millions of Australian families are eating this multiple times per week without realising the risk. But here's what makes Safcol the worst. The responsibly caught range. It's premium priced at $4 to $5 per can. The label says pole and line caught. That sounds sustainable. But only about 15 to 20% of Safcol's total tuna is pole and line. The bulk is still purse seine netting with massive bycatch. Safcol uses the small premium range to greenwash the entire brand. You see responsibly caught on one product and assume the whole company is ethical. They're not. It's corporate misdirection. The profit structure is even worse than Serena. Prince's Group reports operating margins on Safcol around 40 to 50%. They're making enormous profits on the cheapest possible fish using the cheapest possible processing, while Mitsubishi shareholders collect dividends. And the market dominance means they can do whatever they want. Safcol controls approximately 35 to 40% of the Australian canned tuna market. That's not competition, that's near monopoly. And they're using that power to sell low-grade, high-mercury, industrial fish to millions of Australians who trust the brand. If you're literally any Australian family who's ever bought Safcol because it's the familiar gold can at the supermarket, Prince's Group and Mitsubishi have spent decades building that brand recognition specifically to sell you the cheapest tuna at the highest margins. The gold can is costume. The contents are industrial waste fish. Go check your pantry right now. Seriously, go to your pantry right now. Pull out every can of tuna. Line them up on your kitchen bench. Count how many are John West, Green Seas, Safcol, Serena, or supermarket home brands. Look at the labels. Find product of Thailand. Find skipjack tuna. Find purse seine caught or no fishing method disclosed at all. Now think about how many times this week you've eaten this tuna. How many times you've fed it to your kids. How many years you've been buying these brands without questioning where the fish actually comes from. This isn't sustainable seafood. This is industrial fishing processed in Southeast Asian facilities and sold back to you with Australian or European branding. And your family has been eating mercury-containing, nutritionally depleted fish for years. Here's what real canned tuna looks like. It's caught by pole and line or hand line fishing methods that don't create bycatch. It's processed immediately on the vessel or at coastal facilities within hours of catching. It's packed in the fish's own oils or high-quality olive oil. And the companies making it are transparent about species, fishing location, and mercury testing. Yes, it costs more. Safe canned tuna is $6 to $12 per can instead of $2 to $4. But you're paying for fish that won't poison your family. That's not premium. That's basic safety. The brands I'm about to show you aren't at Woolies or Coles. You need to order online or find them at independent health food stores. But if you actually care about what goes into your body, this is worth it. Here are 2 canned tuna brands you can actually trust. Safe pick number 1, Fish 4Ever. European brand available online in Australia. 100% pole and line caught skipjack or albacore tuna. Fished in the Atlantic or Pacific by small-scale fishing vessels. Processed within 24 hours of catching. They're completely transparent. Every can has a code you can trace to the specific fishing vessel and date caught. The tuna is packed in organic extra virgin olive oil or spring water. No additives, no preservatives. The mercury levels are independently tested and disclosed. Fish Forever albacore averages 0.10 to 0.15 milligrams per kilogram. Lower than industrial skipjack because albacore are younger fish. Around $8 to $10 per can online. Double the price of safcol. But you're getting actual sustainable fish from traceable sources packed in quality oil. For environmentally conscious Australians who want actual sustainability instead of corporate greenwashing, Fish Forever is your gold standard. Safe. Pick number 2. Safe Potash. American brand available in Australia through independent retailers and online. The only canned tuna company that tests every single fish for mercury before processing. Their standard is 0.09 milligrams per kilogram maximum. That's 10 times stricter than FDA limits. Any fish above that threshold is rejected. The result is the lowest mercury canned tuna on the market. Safe Catch uses pole and line or troll-caught albacore and skipjack, processed in Thailand but under strict quality control. Packed in the fish's own oils or water, no added vegetable oils. Around $10 to $12 per can in Australia. Expensive. But if you're pregnant, feeding young children, or eating tuna multiple times per week, the mercury safety is worth every dollar. For health-conscious Australians prioritising mercury safety, Safe Catch is your best option. Go through your pantry right now. Throw out every can of industrial tuna. Don't eat them just to finish the pack. Bin them. Your family's health is worth more than $10 in wasted tuna. Then order from Fish Forever or Safe Catch. Or better yet, buy fresh fish from your local fishmonger. Real tuna, real salmon, real sardines, caught locally and sold fresh. The industrial tuna companies won by making you think canned fish is convenient and safe. It's convenient. It's not safe. Stop buying it. If this video changed how you see canned tuna, hit the like button. Share it with every Australian who needs to know. And subscribe, because next week I'm exposing what's really in Australia's most popular breakfast cereals. Now go check your pantry and make better choices.